Alrighty, week 8 is in the books, and now we're starting to finally see who the truly good teams are and who the truly not so good teams are. So, let's just jump right into predictions. Last week I went 9-4, bringing my overall record to a whopping 83-37. Not the worst. I thought I'd be doing a lot worse. But, let's go on to Thursday Night Football, where we've got the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Miami Dolphins. I picked the Ravens last week, assuming they would have Lamar Jackson. They did not have Lamar Jackson. Instead, they started Snoop Huntley, and they ended up getting the win over the Chicago Bears. As for the Dolphins, I picked against them last week, and they made me look foolish. Although, I think that game definitely said more about the Falcons than it did against the Dolphins. Than it did about the Dolphins. Why can't I speak today? But I think the Ravens should be able to win this game. Getting Lamar Jackson back is a huge boost for this team. I think the offense should finally be able to score 30 points again, because that Dolphins defense is not good. I could see Derrick Henry having a big day. And yeah, I'm going to pick the Ravens here in this one, and I think this is where they unfortunately start their comeback. Moving on, we've got an interesting game between the Chicago Bears and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bears, they lost to the Ravens last week, and it didn't look good either. The offense was struggling. There are questions about whether or not Caleb Williams is truly the guy now, and none of those I don't think can be answered right now. As for the Bengals, you lost to the Jets, for crying out loud. And I'm not sure of Joe Flacco's status. I'm recording this on Wednesday morning. So as of right now, I don't know if Joe Flacco is even going to play. Last I saw, he was labeled day-to-day, so I think it's definitely possible. However, I think if Jake Browning is starting in this game, I don't really feel like the Bengals have much of a chance here. I think if Joe Flacco starts, I very well could see the Bengals winning this game. However, I am going to go with the Bears here to bounce back. I think even if Joe Flacco plays, I think the Bears should be able to score points on this defense. And so I'm going to go with the Bears. Don't feel great about it, but you know what? We'll go with it anyways. Moving on, we've got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Detroit Lions. The Minnesota Vikings, look, you got quarterback problems. Carson Wentz did not look good on Sunday. He's now out for the year. You might be getting J.J. McCarthy back for this game. Who knows? I have no idea as of right now. I can only assume that he'd be the starter right now. If J.J. McCarthy is back, I could see the Vikings potentially competing, but I don't think they're going to win this game either way. I think the Lions are just too much of a juggernaut coming off the bye week at home. I mean, all the cards are stacked in their favor. So I'm going to have to go with the Lions here. Moving on, we've got the Carolina Panthers taking on the Green Bay Packers. The Panthers, they got a punch in the mouth last week from the Buffalo Bills, and primarily from James Cook. They got clobbered last week, and it didn't look good. But the running game has been productive, especially in these recent weeks. As for the Packers, they struggled in the first half against the Steelers, but they came back and they dominated the second half and they came out with a deserved win. So I think this game is going to come down to, can the Packers stop the run from the Panthers? I think if the Packers can do that, I think they can win this game rather handily. But if the Panthers can establish a running game, especially if Bryce Young is back, I could see the Panthers pulling off an upset. But I am going to go with the Packers in this one. And we'll see what happens from here. Moving on, we've got the LA Chargers taking on the Tennessee Titans. The Chargers, they beat the Vikings. I think just about everyone kind of expected that to happen. I don't know if everyone expected it to be as big of a blowout as it was, but regardless, you dominated the Vikings, and your offense looked really good in the process. As for the Titans, another week of another blowout loss. Yeah, I mean, this team needs so much help. It doesn't help that it's a very young team being led by a rookie quarterback. I mean, you gotta hope for something. You're just hoping for improvement from the Titans, but right now it looks bad. And coming in against the hot Chargers team, I don't see this one going well for the Titans. So I am going to go with the Chargers here in this one. I don't think it'll be particularly close either. But I that's where I have my pick going. Moving on, we've got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the New England Patriots. The Falcons, they ended up getting clobbered by the Miami Dolphins. Of course, Kirk Cousins was starting in that game. They didn't have Drake London. So the Falcons are pretty beat up right now. So if they can get healthier, Penix comes back, London comes back, I could see the Falcons competing with the Patriots here. Patriots, on the other hand, they are white hot, and they're on a 5-game winning streak. Drake May looks like an absolute superstar, and everyone in the NFL is upset that the Patriots didn't have to wait that long to get another quarterback. I think the Patriots should win this game. It's being played at home. The Falcons just came off of a blowout loss. However, that's exactly what the Falcons want you to think. I hate picking Falcons games because every game that they should win, they lose. And every game that they shouldn't win, they win. The Falcons haven't made sense in years. In years they haven't made sense. So you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons won this game because that's just who they are. But I cannot, in good faith, after seeing that game, pick the Falcons. So I am going to go with the Patriots here in this one. But this game is going to be closer than you would think. I'm telling you now, this game is going to come down to a game-winning field goal by the Patriots. And it's going to be uncomfortably close. The Patriots are going to win this game. Moving on, we've got the San Francisco 49ers taking on the New York Giants. The San Francisco 49ers, of course, really beat up. I have no idea if Brock Purdy's going to play in this game or not. I feel like that's just the recurring theme for this season. As for the Giants, that really hurt my soul seeing Cam Skattebo go down, as I think it did for the rest of the NFL. I mean, him and Dart bring such a swagger to that New York Giants team that I haven't seen in, 10 years, maybe more. So it really sucked to see him go down, man. And then on top of that, you get punched in the mouth by the Eagles. So overall, not a good week for the Giants. But the 49ers, I think that if they can contain these receivers from the Giants, I think the Niners should be able to win this game fairly handily. But I do think it'll be close. But I am going to go with the Niners here in this one. Do I feel great about it? No, I very well could see the Giants pulling off an upset, if you want the truth. But I am going to go with the 49ers. I just think they're a better team. Moving on. Oh boy, we've got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Indianapolis Colts, they are an absolute wagon right now. Their offense is clicking. Jonathan Taylor looks like an MVP. And right now, they're white hot. They're getting really good coaching. Defense is playing well. Daniel Jones isn't turning the ball over. And overall, it's a really good recipe for success. As for the Steelers, they collapsed. Needless to say, they had a really bad second half against the Packers, and they got clobbered as a result. But you know what? The Steelers, they do this every year. They drop some games that maybe they shouldn't drop. Now, of course, the Packers are a good team, but they did have a lead in that game. And the Steelers always come back against a really hard opponent, and they, at the very least, keep it close. I think this game is going to be close. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers win, because just like the Falcons, for whatever reason, they randomly beat a team that they shouldn't. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers won. And that's why I'm going to pick the Steelers. Maybe that's biased. You can certainly make that argument, and I wouldn't totally disagree with you. But screw it. The Steelers are going to win this game. Will it make sense? Absolutely not. It'll probably be on the stupidest of plays. But the Steelers are going to win this game. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. Because that's just what the Steelers do. Moving on. Denver Broncos versus the Houston Texans. The Denver Broncos. If the offense keeps looking like that, they're going to be a really hard team to stop, and nobody's going to want to face this team come January. As for the Texans, you beat the 49ers. You won a game that you probably should have won given all the injuries San Fran has. And now you're coming into this week, 3-4, you're at home, but you're playing a really hot offense. But the Texans have a really good defense. They have a really good defense, and I think that can definitely win them some games down the stretch. I'm going to go with the Texans here in this one. I'm going to go with the upset. I don't know what it is, and I promise, Broncos, I don't hate you. I know I picked you to lose last week as well, and I feel like I picked you to lose a few other weeks as well. I promise I don't hate you, but something about this Texans team right now, I still believe in them, and I mainly believe in them because of that defense. And I think they are a well-coached team. So yeah, I'm going with the upset here in this one. Give me the Houston Texans to knock off the Broncos here in this one. Plus, as I've said before, I don't want to just pick the favorites every week. That's boring. So yeah, give me the Texans. Moving on, we've got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Vegas Raiders. The Jaguars coming off the bye week. Last we saw them, they got absolutely punched in the face by Matt Stafford and the Rams. And it didn't look good. But Travis Hunter did have a really good game in that London game. And, if he can continue what he did after the bye week, I think the Jaguars can be a force down the stretch. And especially without Brian Thomas Jr. potentially not playing in this game, I think that Travis Hunter has a really good opportunity to have another big game, especially against this Raiders defense. As for the Raiders, also coming off the bye week, they also got punched in the mouth by the Chiefs. Look, I think the Raiders do have a chance in this one. I think that if the Raiders can establish the run with Genty, like they want to do, I think the Raiders do have a chance to win this game if they can control the clock and keep that Jacksonville offense off the field. However, I am going to have to go with the Jaguars here in this one. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders won. I wouldn't be surprised if it's close. But I'm trusting the better team right now, and I think the Jaguars are more likely to bounce back. So give me the Jaguars here in this one. Moving on, we've got the New Orleans Saints taking on the LA Rams. Woof. Saints, that was bad. It has been announced Tyler Shough is going to play in his first career start. So best of luck to him. As for the Rams, you got a bye week. You beat Jacksonville over the head last time we saw you. I think this is... Yeah, I'm not going to waste your time with this one. I think the Rams should win this game. It's Shough's first career start. I don't think this game should be close. But, who knows? With his first start, there isn't a ton of film on him. I know, of course, Rattler got benched last week. There's not a ton of film on Shough, but I think the Rams should be able to win this game. And I think they should be able to win pretty handily. Moving on, we've got the potential game of the week here between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. A matchup we see every year, and a matchup that's always pretty good. The Chiefs... I'm just going to be honest, they look like the best team in the league right now. They're healthy, defense is playing well, offense is clicking, they have all their weapons back, Patrick Mahomes looks like himself again, and they're the Chiefs. You can never count them out of any game anymore. And that's why you don't laugh at the Chiefs when they start off slow. I tried to tell people. But they're playing the Buffalo Bills, who are also a pretty good team. But I worry about Buffalo's defense. I don't know if Isaiah Pacheco is going to play in this game. I've heard that he's hurt. I wouldn't count on him playing. But I think the Chiefs, they want to establish the run in this game because Buffalo's run defense isn't very good. And so, yeah, this game could definitely go either way. However, I'm going to go with the Bills here in this one, and here's why. One, you can never rule out a team when they have Josh Allen. Same can be said about Patrick Mahomes, but Buffalo's also dominated KC in the regular season for whatever reason. I don't know why, but the Buffalo Bills just seem to have the Chiefs' number in the regular season. So, for that reason, I'm going to go with the Bills. Do I feel great about this pick? No. And I really would not be surprised if KC won. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I don't think anyone would be. But I'm going to go with the Bills. I don't feel great about it, but screw it. Moving on. Sunday Night Football. We've got the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Washington Commanders. Now, Jaden Daniels is going to practice. It's not confirmed he's going to start, however. But the Seahawks, Sam Darnold, he looks really good right now. Jackson Smith-Njigba is a monster. And I think that the Seahawks have a pretty good running game. And I think the Seahawks think that because Kenneth Walker is actually top 20 in touches, if you didn't know. I think the Seahawks should win this game, regardless of Jaden Daniels playing or not. And I say that just because the Commanders' energy feels a lot different this year. It does not feel like the same energy and spunk that they had last year. I don't know if it's because they had expectations this year and they're not meeting them right now. But regardless of the reason, they just don't feel like the same team. And that's a problem. So I am going to go with the Seahawks, but I wouldn't be overly surprised if the Commanders were to win this game. Moving on. Monday Night Football, last game of the week. We've got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to go with Dallas here in this one. Although I don't think Arizona is a terrible team, they just can't close out these games. And as a result, I have a hard time picking them. Now, I do think that Arizona should be able to score points on this Dallas defense, especially coming off the bye. I just think Dallas has too much firepower for Arizona to be able to stop them. CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams having a career year, George Pickens having a career year, Dak having a career year. I mean, Jake Ferguson having a great year. You know, I just really think that this is a game where the Cardinals are going to have to score a lot of points, and I don't think they're going to score more than Dallas. So give me the Dallas Cowboys here in this one. Those are my picks. We'll see how it turns out. I'll be back here probably same time next week. Don't die.